Chapter 32. Unraveling Secrets. Detective Riley, still reeling from the bizarre encounter with his doppelganger, frantically searched for any trace of Kichi and Red, who had managed to elude him. Seeking answers, he questioned the officers waiting around the hospital, hoping someone had noticed their escape. To his dismay, most of them found his inquiry amusing, and one officer even remarked about seeing him get into a cab. Realizing that he couldn't call out an all-points bulletin on himself, Riley had to recalibrate his approach. He knew he needed to gather more information and find a way to locate Kichi and Red without drawing unnecessary attention. With a determined mindset, he decided to return to the second floor and confront Kevin, the blad-smith, and his wife, Mary. Entering their hospital room, Riley's eyes scanned the surroundings, his instincts on high alert. Mary greeted him with a puzzled expression, unaware of the chaos that had unfolded moments ago. Kevin, on the other hand, seemed uneasy, his demeanor betraying a hidden secret. Riley began his questioning, trying to piece together the events and the connection between Kevin, the Crimson Katana, and the mysterious Shinigami. He carefully observed their reactions, searching for any signs of deception or hidden knowledge. Mary, oblivious to Kevin's possession of the sword once again, provided Riley with limited information. Her answers were vague, and Riley sensed that she was withholding something crucial. Deep down, he knew that Kevin held the key to unraveling the mysteries surrounding Shinigami's existence and the true nature of their encounters. As Riley pressed further, a tension filled the room. It became clear that Mary was aware of something she was not sharing. The air grew heavy with unspoken truths, and Riley realized he needed to approach this from a different angle. Deciding to take a more subtle approach, Riley shifted his focus to Mary, attempting to establish a rapport and gain her trust. He gently probed into her thoughts, hoping to uncover the secrets she held within. Gradually, the walls began to crumble, and Mary's guarded facade began to crack. With each word exchanged, Riley became increasingly convinced that Mary possessed vital information that could lead them closer to Shinigami's true identity and his connection to the blad-smith. He couldn't help but wonder if Kevin's involvement in the creation of Shinigami was more complex than initially suspected. Detective Riley, unsettled by the strange turn of events at the hospital, decided it was time to return to the police station and review the evidence collected from the recent encounter with Shinigami. He thanked Kevin and Mary for their time, assuring them that he would be in touch for further questioning. Suspicion weighed heavily on his mind as he made his way back to the familiar surroundings of the station. Sitting at his desk, Riley began sifting through his notes, seeking any connections or clues that might shed light on the figure known as Shinigami. However, something felt amiss, as if his workspace had been tampered with. Items seemed out of place, and an unsettling feeling settled upon him. Turning to his colleague Schubert, Riley inquired if anyone had been near his desk while he was away. Schubert responded casually, stating, "No one except for yourself." Sensing something deeper at play, Riley feigned a light-hearted tone, mentioning, "I lost my keys and retracing my steps." Schubert, seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation, mentioned, "Maybe you forgot them with the dead guy where you were at the morgue earlier." The mention of the morgue caught Riley off guard, his mind racing to understand the significance of that particular location. Realizing the implications, he knew that someone had been impersonating him, attempting to cover their tracks and manipulate the evidence. Seeking more information, Riley engaged the forensic expert, who informed him that he had indeed visited the cop killer's body and had also been to the evidence room. The pieces of the puzzle started to come together, revealing a cunning plot to divert suspicion and manipulate the investigation. With a renewed sense of urgency, Riley knew that time was of the essence. He had to uncover the identity of the imposter and understand their connection to the events surrounding Shinigami. The web of deception was growing wider, and he was determined to untangle it. Gathering his team, Riley shared his suspicions and instructed them to comb through the station's surveillance footage, searching for any clues or unusual activities during his absence. Every detail mattered, and the surveillance footage from the police station revealed a shocking revelation. It was not Detective Riley captured on camera, but the cunning Akiko assuming his identity, seamlessly moving from one location to another freely within the station. The intricate web of deception deepened as Akiko surreptitiously investigated the murder weapon and left with it, leaving Riley and his team astounded. Watching the surveillance footage, Riley's mind raced with questions. How the hell did Akiko manage to infiltrate the station undetected, and what was her true connection to Shinigami? Riley knew he needed help and was determined to find the officers who had witnessed the terrifying encounter with Shinigami firsthand. He knew that they alone could provide him with the assistance he desperately needed, as they had also seen the supernatural darkness that consumed their comrades. His search for the two didn't take long before discovering the officers were considered missing in action during the recent battle with Shinigami. The whispers of their fate echoed through the corridors, with others recounting how they had witnessed the officers being struck down by the crimson katana, transforming into cherry trees in a chilling display of Shinigami's power. Every minute that went by instilled greater fear of the next call coming in, the next call for anything strange. With the number of people he could confide in dwindling, Riley turned to Becky, the digital forensic expert. He knew that her expertise and meticulous approach would be crucial in uncovering any overlooked evidence or leads. Riley pleaded with her to revisit the surveillance footage and leave no stone unturned. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Becky dedicated herself to the task at hand. She meticulously analyzed the footage, scrutinizing every frame for any hints or clues that might have been missed. Hours passed as she pored over the vast amount of data, determined to find a breakthrough. While Becky delved into the digital realm, Riley himself returned to the crime scene where Officer James had tragically lost his life. It was a somber and haunting place, marked by the memories of the battle that had taken place. With a careful eye, Riley combed through the area, searching for any overlooked evidence that could shed light on the case. As he examined the scene, Riley's instincts kicked in, honed by years of experience. He noticed subtle details that others might have missed: the scuff marks on the pavement, the faint trace of something unusual in the air. Each discovery fueled his determination to uncover the secrets hidden within this macabre puzzle. For hours, both Riley and Becky continued their relentless pursuit for a break in the case. Riley's heart raced as he received the call from Becky. She had made a breakthrough in their investigation, and the screenshots she sent promised to unravel the mystery that had plagued them for so long. With a mix of anticipation and dread, Riley opened the files and saw the segment of the security video that captured the struggle between Kevin and the black smoke. As he studied the screenshots, his eyes widened in realization. During the chaos, the image of the samurai faded away into the very essence of the dark smoke itself. A wave of shock washed over Riley, followed by a surge of disbelief. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, forming a picture that was both horrifying and surreal. Kevin J. Blake, the seemingly ordinary blad-smith, was the very embodiment of the demonic mass-murdering samurai known as Shinigami. The implications of this revelation were staggering. It meant that their search for Shinigami had led them directly to the one they least suspected. The man who had possibly crafted the crimson katana had become consumed by the darkness it possessed, transforming him into the very entity he had unleashed upon the world. Riley and Becky exchanged a glance, their eyes reflecting great unease. They knew that their task had become even more daunting, for now they had to confront the blad-smith turned demon himself. But they were not alone in this fight. They had each other, and together they would uncover the truth. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Riley and Becky set their sights on Kevin J. Blake, now known as Shinigami. They would use every resource at their disposal, employing their skills, intellect, and unwavering resolve to expose his identity and put an end to his rampage. Detective Riley's heart pounded in his chest as he made the decision to confront the blad-smith turned demon, Shinigami, alone. He knew that calling for backup would only put more lives at risk, as the supernatural powers possessed by Kevin J. Blake made him an incredibly dangerous adversary. As he walked the dimly lit halls of the hospital, the weight of his mission pressed upon him. Screams echoed through the corridors, fueling his determination to put an end to the terror once and for all. The hospital seemed eerily quiet, adding to the tension that hung in the air. Following the sound of the scream, Riley quickened his pace, his senses heightened. He knew that time was of the essence, and every second counted. The hallway led him to a room bathed in shadows, and as he cautiously entered, his eyes widened at the sight before him. There, in the center of the room, stood Shinigami, his form distorted by the dark smoke that enveloped him. The crimson katana gleamed ominously in his hand, a weapon of pure evil. A young nurse trembled in fear, her eyes locked on the figure before her. Riley's eyes widened in astonishment as he witnessed the incredible battle unfolding before him. Kichi, empowered by the assistance of Red, the Fox Witch, fought with unmatched speed and skill against the formidable Shinigami. The clash of their weapons reverberated through the hallway, and the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. The black, smoky tentacles that emanated from Shinigami writhed and twisted, reaching out to ensnare Kichi, but she moved with a grace and agility that defied human limits, evading the tentacles with expert precision. With each swing of her katana, she sent arcs of white cloud-like smoke towards Shinigami, pushing back against his darkness. Red, her eyes glowing with determination, channeled her Fox Witch powers, summoning the protective white smoke that aided Kichi in her battle. The ethereal mist swirled around Kichi, acting as a shield against Shinigami's relentless attacks. It seemed to possess an ancient power, pushing back against the dark forces that threatened to consume them all. Riley, transfixed by the spectacle, understood the magnitude of the battle unfolding before him. Kichi, with her unwavering determination and the aid of the Fox Witch, stood as humanity's last hope against the malevolent Shinigami. It was a clash between light and darkness, and the outcome would shape the destiny of their city. As the battle raged on, Kichi's movements became even more fluid, her strikes imbued with an inner strength that seemed to defy the limits of her mortal body. She fought with a fierce resolve, fueled by her determination to protect the innocent and bring an end to the reign of terror. Meanwhile, Shinigami grew increasingly desperate, his attacks becoming more erratic and wilder. The black smoky tendrils thrashed and twisted, attempting to overpower Kichi and break through the defense of the white cloud-like smoke. But Kichi's skill and the protective aura of the Fox Witch held strong. Time seemed to stand still as the clash of forces reached its peak. Each strike, parry, and evasive maneuver carried immense weight, their significance felt by every onlooker. The fate of the city hung in the balance, the battle serving as a pivotal moment in the struggle between light and darkness. Riley's mind raced as he entered the smoke-filled room, his gun drawn and his determination unwavering. His primary focus was to protect Mrs. Blake and the young nurse caught in the chaos. With each shot fired, he hoped to strike Shinigami and provide a window of escape for the women. However, unbeknownst to Riley, Shinigami possessed a power that allowed him to manipulate the trajectory of the bullets. In a twisted turn of events, the very bullets meant for Shinigami found their mark in the vulnerable form of Red, the Fox Witch. As Red screeched in agony, Kichi, gripped by a sudden pain, screamed in despair, giving Shinigami the opportunity to escape that he had been searching for. Realizing his grave mistake, Riley froze, his heart sinking with regret. He rushed to Kichi's side, a mix of concern and confusion etched on his face. "What have I done? Kichi, I didn't mean for this to happen. Is there anything I can do?" Kichi, still in the grip of pain, her voice strained, responded with a mixture of anger and sadness. "It's too late, Riley. The bond between Red and me, it was deeper than you could have known. She's dying, and I don't have what I need to save her. Without her to shield us from Shinigami's darkness, he can't be defeated." Riley's eyes widened in realization as he witnessed the profound connection between Kichi and Red. "There has to be something that can be done," Riley exclaimed in sorrow, steel clutching the now open stab wound in her chest, same one suffered at the hands of Shinigami 500 years ago and healed by the now dying Fox Witch. "No, I am afraid I am without my pouch, and there isn't enough time." Kichi spoke, reaching out, petting Red, who had reverted into her fox form. "What is it? Tell me, let me try," Riley pleaded. Shaking her head, Kichi spoke, "Fresh koi fish." Riley could see how that would surprise him any other time, but sure the life-saves power of koi, why not, he thought. "Wait, hold on you foxy fox, I'll be right back." Riley desperately sought a solution to save the injured Fox Witch, Red. With time slipping away and Kichi's anguished cries echoing in his ears, he remembered an unusual detail from his routine visits to his annual physical examination. Without hesitation, Riley sprinted down the hospital corridors, weaving through the bustling crowds and disregarding the puzzled looks of staff and patients. He had a singular goal in mind: to reach the waiting room of his doctor's office. Riley burst into the doctor's office, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew time was of the essence, and he needed something, anything, that could help Kichi in her current state. Ignoring the bewildered stares of the medical staff, he flashed his badge and declared, "Official police business, I need those carp." Confusion and disbelief hung in the air, but Riley's determination was unwavering. He swiftly reached into the aquarium, his hand plunging into the water, grasping 2 large carp. With a firm grip, he lifted them out, their scales glistening in the harsh hospital lighting. As he ran back to Kichi's side, cradling the struggling fish, he knew he had taken an unconventional and desperate approach, but he remembered tales of ancient healing practices and the mystical properties associated with certain creatures. In his mind, he saw a glimmer of hope, a possibility that these carp held a key to saving Red and Kichi. Running down the hall, he rushed into the room where the fox laid with breath slow and gasping, Mary and the young nurse attempting to slow the loss of blood from Kichi's chest. Carefully, Riley placed the carp near the fox, and nothing happened. Seeing that he had returned, Kichi reached out to him. "Give them to me. I must feed her." Doing as she requested, Riley handed her the 2 flopping fish. With little to no strength, Kichi slid them across the floor to Red. Slowly, she used all her remaining energy and took a bite. With each bite, more energy was gained. By the time she got to the second, she had swallowed it whole. The medical staff exchanged puzzled glances, unsure of what to make of this unexpected turn of events. But Riley, fueled by a combination of instinct and hope, believed that these carp carried within them a unique power to heal, at least for Red and Kichi. As minutes passed, the room fell into an intense silence, broken only by the sound of Kichi's labored breaths. The atmosphere seemed to shift, a tangible tension filling the air, and then, as if by some miraculous force, a faint glow emanated from her chest. Riley watched in awe as the glow intensified, enveloping Kichi in a warm, healing light. He could sense a surge of energy, as if Red were transferring their vitality to her. It was an extraordinary sight, a testament to the inexplicable forces that existed beyond the realm of rationality. Slowly, Kichi's pain began to subside. Her breathing steadied, and a newfound strength coursed through her veins. The wounds inflicted by Shinigami's darkness started to heal, as if touched by a miraculous intervention. The medical staff, witnesses to this extraordinary event, were left speechless, their skepticism shattered in the face of the inexplicable. Riley, too, stood in awe, his belief in the power of hope and the resilience of the human spirit renewed. With the immediate danger averted and Kichi on the path to recovery, Riley knew they still had much to do, but in that moment, he couldn't help but feel a glimmer of optimism. The carp had become symbols of resilience and unexpected miracles, a testament to the extraordinary lengths one would go to protect those they cared about. Riley couldn't help but chuckle at Red's complaint, relieved to see her in her human form once again. The tension that had filled the room moments ago began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of light-heartedness brought on by Red's candid remark. "Apologies for the taste, Red," Riley replied with a grin, his voice tinged with a mix of amusement and gratitude. "I guess desperate times call for desperate measures, but hey, at least they did the trick, right?" Red let out a playful scoff, her eyes still twinkling with a mischievous glint. "Those are the nastiest tasting swamp koi I have ever had," speaking as she spit profusely. "Next time just let us die before feeding me those." I suppose they did, but next time let's hope for a more palatable solution. The momentary reprieve from the intensity of their mission allowed Riley to appreciate the camaraderie he had formed with Red and Kichi within a very short amount of time. Their banter provided a brief respite, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there was room for laughter and light-heartedness. As Red continued to complain about the taste of the carp, Kichi's strength steadily returned. She sat up, her eyes filled with determination, and turned to Riley. "We must work together to find and defeat Shinigami."